Welcome back to STS. In today's tutorial, we're going to work with the inverse of a reciprocal function. Alright, our first step is to change the f of x notation into y. So here this f of x becomes a y. Everything else is rewritten as it is. Second step is to swap our x's and y's. So this y becomes an x, and this x here becomes a y. And our third step is to solve for y. Alright, in solving for y, let's go ahead and begin by subtracting 8 from both sides. In doing so, those 8's cancel, and I have x minus 8 is equal to 5 over y. Next step is I want to cross multiply, so it's understood that this quantity on the left is over 1. So I'm going to do 5 times 1 to give me 5, and then y times x minus 8. And then I'm going to go ahead and now divide both sides by x minus 8, or the quantity x minus 8, to get that y by itself. So here I found that those cancel, and I have what y is equal to. So now let's switch back to that notation using f. Notice the negative 1 here. It's not a power. That is showing, that does mean inverse in this context. So 5 over x minus 8 here is the inverse. Alright, now let's verify this by taking a look by using the calculator. Alright, once we call up the calculator, notice that I've already put in the original function. Here it's going to show as red in slot 2. I put in the inverse in slot 3. That's going to appear as a black line. And I have the line of symmetry here in the blue. So let's go ahead and graph. Right, when we graph, we're expecting everything to be symmetrical about the origin, or symmetrical to that blue line. The red is the original, and then here comes the black, where the black here is the inverse. Let's go ahead and click on zoom, and then let's go down to square, so this way it looks more symmetrical. So we'll let that draw itself in. Take a look at that. Alright, and we see this here is a much better representation of the symmetry. And now let's take a look at a few points just to verify that when we're dealing with an inverse, the x and y values are swapped. Alright, like I said earlier, we know the original function is in y sub 2. So we press the alpha key, we press the trace, which has the F4 in green, and we want to pick number 2, which is the original equation. And let's just pick any domain value. Let's put in, let's say, a 5. And then we see that when the input is 5, the output is 9. Now let's do alpha, trace button again. The inverse is in position 3. So now we're going to make the input a 9, and we're expecting the output to be a 5. And here we see that is true. And then let's check just one more. Let's go back to the original function. Let's put in, let's say, 5.36, and we see the output comes out to be just over 8 9/10. And then let's check the inverse by putting in the output from the original equation, and this now that's inputted. The output, or the range here, should be 5 36/100, and we see that it is very close to that. If we were to round, this would take us exactly to that number. All right, that sums it up for this tutorial on working with the inverses of reciprocal functions. Please subscribe to that YouTube channel, and as always, thank you for watching.